Good morning out there. I apologize for just a moment delay here. We are trying to get set up in the learning studio and they're experiencing some audio difficulties. So I am just trying to get a hold of Jim briefly. Okay. So that gave us a minute here to allow people to get on. Just checking out who our attendees are as I like to write them down. I do have a guest with us today, which is so nice. You don't have to only hear from me this morning. So Melissa's out there with us from the UMRC and Porter Hills Foundation, and we will hear from her a little bit down on the agenda. So thanks for coming, Melissa. And I hope our friends in the learning studio get some relief from the speaker issue in there. So thanks, Jim, for coming our way, hopefully to save them. But we will go ahead and get started. Don't want to make anybody wait out there. I believe I tested things out properly and you should be able to see my screen. So welcome. We have with our attendees on at their household, we have 22 households and we have another 3 households in the learning studio. So pretty great turnout this morning and thank you for coming. Okay, so I'm going to start it off. If you were on dining update, I believe it was last week, we got into some poll taking. So we had some fun with that. I wanted to start it off with a little bit of fun. Yesterday, we watched a movie in the learning studio, and it was the first time that we actually streamed a movie. It was from Amazon Prime. So we do have streaming capabilities, not in the typical way somebody would watch it at their house, probably with a smart TV, but we can stream them through our PC laptop. So that was pretty neat that it worked. Not sure that the movie choice was enjoyed as much, but hopefully we could get some better choices for you. So that's where this first poll comes in, which I hope is popped. Oh, it will be popped up. Okay, I have 3 questions for you in regards to movies specifically. So this is a 3-part question. First question. Are you interested in watching more movies at the clubhouse? So you have a yes, no, maybe answer. Again, you are answering all of these anonymously, so it's okay what you say. And then there are 2 additional questions. So I'll give everybody some time to answer. Melissa, you can see the poll, right? Okay. And then after the poll, it's pretty neat. I can show everybody the results right away. So I can also look back on these later to remember what kind of information we got. So just looking for some information gathering on movies specifically. That first question, very general. Are you interested in watching more movies at the clubhouse? You have a yes, no, maybe. And if you go down to the next question, if so, what genres would you enjoy? And I know there's a lot more specific genres than what I included, but again, just trying to get some general info. So musicals, documentaries, old Hollywood, some of those great movies with our old favorite actors and actresses. Do you want to watch TV series? And do you want to watch current titles? So things that kind of just came out, kind of the, Oscar nominees, the Golden Globe nominees. Are you looking to be current or other? So that could entail many things. So hopefully you will email me out there if you are selecting other for your genre. And in the learning studio, I'm going to get your votes later too. So I'll pop in there after this. So hopefully we can get your votes. And lastly, again, just information gathering to help me understand what kinds of things we could play potentially. How do you watch your movies at home? whatever you can find on TV, you just kind of click around and see what's on out there. Curious if people are already utilizing streaming services that could help me pick some titles from these. So that could be Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, HBO Max. There's so many, and I'm guilty of having almost all of them. So I rent them at the library as an option because they do have a lot of titles there. I do not watch movies at home or other. And it looks like, seeing if they're still fluctuating going on, and it doesn't look like it. So I think we've gotten everybody in that's going to vote. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end poll. Let's check out the results here. Okay, excuse me. All right, we're going to check out some results. So we only had 16 people respond out of our 24. So either you don't care about this at all, or hopefully you weren't having technical difficulties. I don't know how it presents on your end. I wish I could give more tips. So we're going to share these results so you can see what we are talking about here. Are you interested in watching more movies? Yes, at 56%, 9 of you would like to watch more movies. 2 people are not interested in that, and then 5 maybe. So we have yes as our majority there. That's good to know. And kind of a mix on the genres. So maybe that just leads us to playing a variety. That would be great. So a lot of you are interested in musicals, 25%. Some of you would go for some documentaries, some older movies, current titles is the majority right now at 31%. So that is helpful. But there's some other too. And then going down, curious how you watch your movies at home. A lot of people, it's whatever you find on TV. I can relate to that. 38%. A lot of you are already utilizing streaming services, which is awesome. 44% of you are doing that. A lot of people don't, 19% don't watch them at all. So very interesting. Okay, I see some people needing help there. Okay, I'm not sure how it presents on your end. So hoping that the next one will go a little bit smoothly for those of you that are smoother, for those of you that were having a little bit of difficulty. So we will try again after that. Okay, great. We do have one more poll coming in this section. Okay, we're going to hop on down to the agenda, hoping you can still see it. So today we do have Bible study group today. This was left off the calendar, I believe, just as a carryover from last month. So Bible study group, you are meeting today, normal time, normal location. I apologize for that miss on the calendar, and luckily Jane is on top of things and making sure that everyone knows that they are indeed meeting. So hopefully you will make it in here today for that, and we'll be all set up and ready for you to go. And then you do meet throughout the month too, as you see on your calendar. So a couple things coming up this month that I can give you a little bit more info on. February 7th, this coming Monday, the warehouse cloggers are returning. So I've been trying to talk these guys up because they are really fun to watch. This is a volunteer group of just a variety of different people, all walks of life, all ages, male, female. They come together and just do clogging totally for fun. So we have donated to them. Of course, they did not ask for a fee. They just like to perform. So they will be here on Monday, and they perform in the living room area because they need the tile. So it's kind of an interesting setup, flipped from what you would normally see, because they do need a little bit more space, but we will be all set up for that. And your start time is 6 p.m. They are out of Tecumseh, so they have a little bit of a drive here. If there was some weather, that could affect our date. So just keep an eye out for any announcements, but we are planning to have them here on February 7th at 6 o'clock, and we're excited. February 8th, the following day, this coming Tuesday. Now, we made our attempt at doing a soup cook-off, and I did not get enough chefs this year, so that is totally fine. What that told us, though, is that people wanted to eat some soup because we had a lot of people sign up to attend. So we decided to shift that and make it a soup luncheon. So we're going to have 2 different soups for you to try, as well as rolls. So just come on in, eat a nice warm lunch, as soup has sounded so good the past couple days. So that is the 8th. I believe the deadline to sign up is today. So head into the clubhouse and sign up if you have not been able to get in here, and let us know that you are coming. And that's Tuesday. And the start time is 12:30. I just have a few things back to back, but just come on over after exercise class if that's what you're, no need to rush, but come on over after the exercise class there. That ends at 12:30 as well. So we're excited for that. February 23rd, we have Kathy Gunderson. She is an art presenter that is returning. I believe she was last here maybe in November. So it's been a couple months. We really liked that presentation that she did. This one is kind of fun because it's the history of Mardi Gras, and we do have Mardi Gras coming up right around the corner. So very interesting. You can flip your calendar over to get information on exactly what the content is. And there is a flyer on the bulletin board. So that's February 23rd, and her start time is 3 p.m. in the Learning Studio. So again, another one we're excited about. And she's always interesting with her wealth of knowledge. So come on in and see that presentation. A little bit out of order there, just an FYI, I continue to kind of give people the heads up. The Cedars Chips group plan to return here in February. So that is one of the days where you will see on the calendar, billiards room is reserved. So that is a writing group, and it does consist of some residents and mostly outside community members. If you are interested in that group, I recommend you talk to Paul Schubert, because he has been kind of the leader of that resident-wise for a long time. They've been coming here for a while. So they have been meeting virtually, trucking through this pandemic, and they are returning for the first time on February 16th. So we will welcome them back to the clubhouse. And then as well, just a heads up that the Adult Learners Institute is returning for some classes. So those won't begin until March, but you will see those outlined on your calendar. And the location of those classes are the Learning Studio. So they do put out a spring kind of a newsletter where they outline all of the local classes. They have classes here, CRC, the senior centers, Silver Maples. So we're excited to partner back up with them so that they can have some in-person locations. And we will get you information on those actual classes. There are fees associated with them, but they are pretty average, nothing too out of the ballpark if you wanted to participate in those. So we're looking forward to getting their newsletter for their spring classes. Okay, we do have another pool poll. Just again, a curiosity question here, because as you all know, Cynthia has been helping out with our pool classes, and we have not had any success in finding a new pool fitness instructor. So it's very difficult right now to find somebody who is doing that kind of thing. We've reached out to the wellness centers. They are unfortunately in the same scenario where they are in need of instructors. So there's a real shortage for this. So we have this amazing pool though. Cynthia's continuing to help us on Wednesdays with pool classes. But I was curious, as I did list, here comes the poll. Oh, let's see here. I can. Okay, remember I'm new to this poll stuff. Okay, got it. Okay, so I put on the calendar that at your normal time on Mondays, I noted a self-led pool class. And so basically I want to encourage the swimming group. As you know, it's kind of it's a set, normal 6 to 8 people that come on in and do that. I am just curious to know that if we were able to provide some prompts of some sort, whether it be video or whether it be large posters outlining different moves to do. So if you were provided prompts of some kind that is not a physical person, would you come to a self-led water fitness class, or do you plan to still come on Mondays and swim? So hopefully this is working out there for you. And again, your options are fairly simple for this one. It's a yes, no, maybe, or I don't participate in swim currently and don't plan to kind of thing. So I will give you some time. We have 84% of people participating this time. That's great. So hopefully it's working now for you out there. I'll give you just a minute. Okay, I think we have everyone. Oh, one more. I'm giving the last person another minute. Okay. Oh, the last person is the learning studio. So I apologize out there. Okay, so great. Almost everyone answered. Okay, which is helpful for me to know. So, all right, so some of you would do that. So 13%, pretty low there. The majority of you, which we already knew, don't participate in the swim class. That's at 58%. But I'm most interested in our core little group there. So I'd be interested to hear from our group of swimmers specifically, if that's something that you'd be interested in. So I have yes and no tie at 13%. I have a maybe, we have maybe at 17%. So maybe that kind of depends on what the prompts are for you out there. Okay, good information. Very nice. I just thought the polls were a fun little addition that we can do on Zoom. So thank you for participating out there. Okay, and then that leads me to just a general kind of calendar type topic. And I want to talk about some clubhouse spaces too. So if you look at our calendar every month, you see a mix between recurring events, a lot of recurring events. Obviously fitness is recurring. You have things like Bible study, game night, these things that happen every month. And then you see sprinkles of kind of the fun stuff. So soup cook-off, a presentation, maybe it's a concert. So you see kind of this balance between things that happen every month, special things that happen certain months, whether it's trips or any of the other things I named. So some of you I've worked with on trying to get new groups started up, or different things at different times of the day. And sometimes those work out very well. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's a scheduling thing. Just wanted to bring up this topic in general. From a planning standpoint, our calendar is quite packed in terms of when you could actually schedule something. So when it comes to chatting about adding organized new things, it really is a challenge with the space that we have available on the calendar. So with that, I just want to reiterate, because we have gone through this kind of COVID time where people don't come and go as much from the clubhouse. And if you remember, in the very beginning of COVID and for a number of months, we couldn't have the Keurig out. We couldn't make coffee in here or serve you anything. So it was really weird, and it was this new normal. But now we have morphed somewhat back to normal. So I just wanted to bring this up to folks that these spaces here in the clubhouse, when something is not scheduled on the calendar, are basically thought of extensions of all of your home. So this clubhouse is for you to come in and utilize and use how you want to, whether that means you'd like to reserve it for something for your family, which some of you do, or that means you just want to come and look at your iPad and read your book on your Kindle and hang out in the library. Folks have asked on Monday or Tuesdays, is it okay if I just got a couple friends together and brought our lunches in and ate in the cafe or ate in the billiards room? Those things are totally fine. We encourage you all to start that back up again. And we just want you all to know that these are your spaces too. You know, predominantly they're your spaces. So things like the Keurig machine, that's always available for you if you wanted to come in, grab a cup of coffee. Things in the cupboards up top, if it's an open cupboard, any of that is for our residents to use. So if you wanted to brew a whole pot of coffee, we have coffee grounds. You can pull out the actual coffee maker. You know, I think I just want to highlight that not everything has to be planned and scheduled on the calendar. These are your spaces to use. And we just want people to feel comfortable and know that, you know, that that's okay and that that's what it's there for. So just an extension of your home in here. So come on in and use it. And it does not have to be anything formal. Come on in. So that takes me through the activities update. Thank you for going with our polls in that section. If anyone had any questions about activities and anything as we go, feel free to utilize the Q&A. I did find out it's pretty neat on the Q&A that I can pull, as maybe you saw from Dining Update, I can pull those questions. And so I can look back on what people asked me too. So still learning things about Zoom. Here we are 2 years later. So, okay, we are cruising down on the agenda to dining. I wanted to start this off on a positive note because with the implementation of that email address, it seems like people are really utilizing it and we love it for comments, concerns, issues with their bills, and also a lot of positive things. So I wanted to read a couple that I have received recently. I'm not going to say who said the comments because I haven't asked you for permission. So just a few different ones. Seriously, Wednesday night's dinner was absolutely delicious. I have never tasted such tender chicken. Great work, folks. That was this past Wednesday too. So I did hear that from a few people, which was really nice to hear. Okay, pardon how I say this because I do not know how to say this. Farfalle pasta, delicious, best pasta dish I've had at the Cedars. I don't know what that pasta is, but now I really want to try it. And I don't know if I said that right. Hopefully you all know what I'm referring to. From the Wednesday dinner, we received multiple comments on that. So the other one, again, word I don't know how to say. The mulligatawny soup last night was delicious, very flavorful. It was nice to try a new soup. So I just wanted to share some positive things that are coming in. And we are really grateful to have Tyler here, as you know, with Chef Mark on leave. Tyler, as he will continue to do so while Chef Mark is back, but he is really jumping into trying new things here, kind of bringing in some things that we aren't used to branching out to with that. The soup, one of those soups I named was a new one here. We have requests for different soups that he's going to be trying. I believe we have chicken enchiladas coming up, which we don't do that a lot. He had his barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese last night. So a lot of different things. The tempura chicken was one that people really liked. That was kind of a new thing for us here. So I just wanted to highlight all that positive we've been getting lately. And those comments, when you send them, they're just great to hear. And we always share those with the staff. So thank you. Okay, we always have a team member update for you. That seems to remain. So we did have a new team member start. Some of you have probably met Holly. So she was here, I believe, last night and a day last week for some training, or a couple days, I think. So she is getting trained up and ready to go, and she is just awesome. She is so fun and outgoing, and we're happy to have her here. There is another team member, I believe her name is Audrey. She will be in here next week to onboard, and then she'll start her training hopefully next week as well. Chef Mark, we do anticipate him returning now late February, so we are kind of counting down the days, Anne Marie and I. You know, we've been really coming together as a team to make sure that everything is getting done and we're responsive to all of you out there. So hopefully we've been doing an okay job with that, but we are excited to have Chef Mark return. Lastly, with our team member update, the last update to share is more of an unfortunate one. I am reporting that extremely recently, as of very recently anyways, Marissa Buck, our lead server, is no longer with us at the Cedars of Dexter. So very fresh information. You know, don't have a lot to follow up with other than just wanted to be very transparent with our residents. You know, it's always difficult because we can't share, you know, reasonings why there was this separation. You know, was it her, was it us? I think overall, all we can say is that she made a positive impact here, and we are very grateful for the time that we had. I know on her end, she was really enjoying getting to know the residents here. And so we discovered that the position of lead server is really one that has a lot of impact here. So we have certainly learned something from that. And Anne Marie, myself, and Chef Mark will be working together to determine the best way to move forward here. So that being said, currently that will mean that our lunch service is pickup only. We see that continuing for at least a couple weeks, kind of till we can piece things together. Again, Chef Mark returns fairly quickly. So hopefully that won't continue too long, and we'll be doing some recruiting. So bear with us here, hang in there. I know that lunch service didn't hugely pick up for in-person dining, but we certainly had our regulars, and it was so nice to see people coming in here. So bear with us. It is always the plan to get that back up and running as an in-person option for you. So that was everything in my dining section. Your next dining update meeting will be in March. I do not have a date for that quite yet, but you will see that on your calendar for March. Okay, we have the fairly quick sales and marketing update right now. As of current, we are still full here. So we move forward, but we don't ever fully pause on marketing efforts. So I think we told you about these last meeting that we are having a waitlist event that is this month coming up already. That will be on February 22nd. Location is TBD on that. So I just have an FYI on your calendar. I am not 100% positive which space we will be utilizing. So just be aware that that event is going on for myself, Jackie. We will have some assistance from the marketing department here. So we are looking forward to just touching base with that wait list, seeing how everyone's doing. A lot of these people have not been here in a number of years to see us, or have just recently joined the wait list and aren't really familiar with kind of the overall Cedars lifestyle. So we're looking forward to touching base with them. And then on March 24th, there is a virtual event. So that is going out to the wait list and some actual leads from our database, as well as a mailing list. So some more people for that. That's kind of neat. It's a professional speaker. The topic is the 10 tips to healthy longevity, I think. So kind of neat. He is a physician, and we'll hear from him and hopefully attract more people for the Cedars. Okay, I'm checking in on the Q&A box. So I am actually getting to take a break now because we have Melissa Goodson from the foundation with us, and we are going to get a nice update from her.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to be here today. I do have some fun updates to share with you. Last time I saw you all was at the end of last summer. Maybe it was early fall. I remember we were outdoors and it was warm and toasty and beautiful sunshine. And I shared at that point in time that the foundation at the UMRC Foundation and the Porter Hills Foundation had become one combined foundation. And we are still going strong with that. So it's really wonderful. We are working together on our 5-year strategic plan for the foundation. We're working together with our board on that, and we're hoping to have that plan in place by the change of the fiscal year for us. That's June 31st or June 30th. There's no 31st in June. So July 1st start date on that. It will coincide with the corporate entities strategic plan. So obviously we always work hand in hand together, and we will continue to do that as we plan forward. We have had a fantastic, I'm going to call it stellar, first half of this fiscal year already. Again, many thanks to many of you who have included the foundation in your annual giving. We have raised $8.3 million this last 6 months, which is fantastic. 5 million of that was a beautiful gift will support Capitol building on the west side of the state. Which is really wonderful. We also have an additional anonymous $5 million gift that was not included in that 8.3 million that I just shared with you, that I'm giving you a little teaser about. I'm not yet privy to share all the information about that, but it's a gift that could potentially help all of you and support all of you in some way. So stay tuned as we get that out and get some press related around that. Your report is due to be sent to the printer in the next week or so. So you'll be able to see what we accomplished as the foundation in 2021. And again, many thanks to many of you. We are always looking for additional board members and additional committee members for our boards. So if you have anyone who you think is interested or who may be influential to join to help us strategize, to help us bring new constituents to the foundation, to help us continue to grow, please reach out. Some of those committees include our Diversity and Inclusion Committee, our Philanthropy Committee, and our Investment Committee. The D&I Committee obviously is all about expanding the group of people that are part of our board, but also the group of people across the umbrella of the groups that we serve to make sure that we are representing everyone across the board. Philanthropy Committee, those are the folks that really help us make sure that we continue to be able to raise the funds that we need to support all of our residents and our team members. And our Investment Committee then helps us make sure that all those funds we bring in are being invested as diligently as possible. We are planning some socials and some education programs with all of you in partnership with the foundation, trying to come up with some fun ways to have some FaceTime with each other, to see you, to celebrate and continue to share some updates. I'm working with Natalie to secure some dates there. So stay tuned for that. I also will be sharing, we will be putting on 2 education programs that will likely be held over at CRC, but of course you all are always invited to those. So again, I will get that information in front of Natalie if and those are booked. And then lastly, I just wanted to just share again from the foundation, just a reminder of the things that we do with the foundation. Our cornerstone of what we were built on is our benevolent care program. And that is a program that funds are raised to support those who may run out of their own resources. So residents of ours, if they live with us long enough or life changes happen to them that they deplete those resources, our benevolent care fund is there so that they can always stay with us and be a part of our communities. Also, life enrichment is where we get to have the opportunity to bring joy to all of our residents, you included. So that's when we can have those socials I just mentioned. We can bring in speakers, we can have lectures, music series, so on and so forth. The Artful Aging program that I know that many of you know about there over at the Cedars is part of that. And then our team member support services, that's our scholarship program and our emergency aid program we have for our team members. And then capital projects. I mentioned earlier, we had a $5 million gift to come that will support capital projects on the west side of the state over at Porter Hills, things like that. So we can continue to have state-of-the-art buildings, state-of-the-art facilities, and really wonderful places for you all to live. So that's my quick update. If you have any questions ever, the foundation is at your disposal. You can always email me or get Natalie and she can get in touch with me, or you can call the foundation straight if you have any thoughts or questions or want to talk about your potential giving. We're always here to support you and to have conversations. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Melissa. I think there's always something new I learn when you come and give me the updates. So, so I'm glad you are here providing that to our residents. And we'll look forward to hearing more about a lot of those things. Thank you. Okay, cruising on down. We are now to the director update. So a few things in here. Just wanted to remind you all that we do have 2 more sessions of the Steve Fedico State of the Corporation meetings. So he has 2 more sessions. One is February 8th, one is the 17th, and those are listed on your calendar. And we do stream those here in the Learning Studio. So if you would like to watch and you are not able to at home, we will have them on in here for you as well. We have a team member one, so I will say I have not watched the team member one yet, but I will. I have same thing, 2 more opportunities to watch. So some of you might be a little bit more in the loop than I am right now, but don't worry, I'm going to watch mine as well. So hope you can join him for one of those. And just a break, somebody out here did ask for Melissa Goodson's email address. I will be sure to put that in the minutes for you. And I think it's mgoodson@umrc.com, right? Perfect. Okay, and we'll make sure that that is in the minutes too.
And I'm going to put that and my phone number in the chat too, in case anybody can access the chat.
Super. Super. Okay, good question out there. Okay, yes, so hopefully you can join one of Steve's meetings. It's always nice to hear from him and get a general update of what's going on for the whole organization. So moving on, I think a lot of you got this information from the calendar, hopefully, that our friends at Faith in Action, they are working on moving into their new building off of Dan Hoey Road. So with that, they are not accepting any more shopping items at the Dexter Pantry. They are on pause there until they get up and running. However, the last thing they did say, and I have not looked at the sign-up sheet, but the other thing they did say is that they could use one more recycling trip if somebody is signed up for that, or maybe somebody would be willing to do that on the 9th. So this coming Wednesday would be a final recycling pickup for my recycle helpers out there. And maybe somebody's already signed up. Again, I haven't been able to check. But on that topic too, if our shoppers really, really wanted to continue to shop, the other option would be to shop for the Chelsea location. So if any of my shoppers out there are interested in still doing that and delivering items to the Chelsea location, just let me know. Otherwise, I have planned to just pause that until they get settled in the new pantry. So we are excited for them to get in their new location and get all organized in there. They provide a great service to our community and the surrounding communities. Okay, just a note about the parking lot. And of course, I think the past couple days, this has been unavoidable, unfortunately, but I have noticed lately in the parking lot, on days when there's been snow and also days when there hasn't been snow, that specifically in the middle areas, the 2 middle rows, occasionally there's been vehicles parked on the very end, closer to the driveway entrance to the parking lot that are not technically in a parking spot. So it's essentially a space over too far, which does make it very difficult for other people to get out, and especially for our delivery trucks to get in and out. So just wanted to bring that up and put a little bit of awareness out there, make sure you're pulling into an actual spot, and one that allows folks to get all the way around the parking lot. Of course, I saw it yesterday, but I totally understand why that happened yesterday. I would have made the same mistake with all of that snow. So just something to be mindful of as we do continue to have some snow things. Actually, I wanted to start with snow topic because just very grateful to all of our understanding residents. I know we had a lot of changes the past couple days between having to cancel housekeeping or cut that short, diverting to pick up services for lunch and dinner on Wednesday. So just thank you for your patience out there. We continue to caution folks to just be extra careful when you're outside, still on the sidewalks. This morning, it was again very cold. So, most schools were canceled for the third day in a row. And although a lot of these roads were now finally plowed, it now got so cold this morning that they are very, very icy. So please take caution. And that does include around here on our sidewalks too. But thank you so much for your understanding out there the past few days. And hopefully we can get a little break. We were due for a good and pretty snowstorm, but we can take a little break now. So my next topic here is just some financial follow-up. We did have a really interesting meeting with Kim Hoppy earlier this week, our CFO of the organization. She gave a wonderful presentation, provided us with some really informative videos as well. So thank you for those that were able to watch that and participate and ask questions. That was great. I did receive a question afterwards that I don't think I've ever really talked through here with residents. So the question specifically was kind of just more about the Cedars specific budget. So where does the Cedars budget come from? How do we come up with these numbers? Who plays a role? Who's in control? So, as you know, from the updates that you watched, it's not some massive pot. These business lines have separate budgets that are laid out annually. So just a little bit about that process and how it looks for me and the team here at the Cedars. I think Kim was telling you a lot about, kind of this collaboration that happens. So that is very true. So kind of firstly, James Kelly, the Chief Sales and Marketing Officer, he makes recommendations for census. What should we set our budgeted census to be? So we come up with that, and that means how many cottages should be filled in order for us to meet our budget. So we come up with that number. And then HR works in partnership with myself to determine how many full-time employees do you need? How many part-time employees do you need? Do you need more than what you have now? Is there any restructuring you want to do? So again, that's the partnership. I'm working with HR, kind of figuring out staffing wise, what do we need? So we've got census, we've got staffing. So that determines, the census wise, how much money is going to be coming in, what do we have to work with? And then we also budget for how many turnovers are we going to have every year? So we base that on our attrition levels, kind of your expected length of time here, what's been average over the past 12 years, I guess now. So in a lot of ways, that's a guess based on these numbers of the past. So for instance, this current fiscal year, we were budgeted for 8 turnovers. Well, we most likely will not get to that number. So what that means is that there would be less revenue coming in from life leases. So again, that's another number we come up with, we project in order to make the next year's budget. So you've got, what do your employees look like? What's your census? How many turnovers are you going to have? And then you start factoring in, are your employees going to get a raise? And are your residents going to have an increase? And so from all of those things, finance puts it all together and does a pro forma for us. And they give me a big number. Here's your bottom line number. And they give me actual financial numbers used for the past however many years I want, typically 2. And I then come up with that end number that I've been provided and our actual budget numbers between myself, Jim, Chef Mark, Anne Marie. We are looking at, then breaking them down for each expense. So truly, as Kim shared, it is a collaborative effort of the team members here at the Cedars, the people that know this day in and day out. And then utilizing the expertise of our strategic team members there with Michelle Henderson in HR, James Kelly in sales and marketing, our finance friends. So a lot of assistance there. So I just kind of wanted to talk us through how that happens. And it is actually starting now. So we are in the midst of all of this. Kind of beginning, because as you know, our fiscal years start in July. So the other part that goes along with that is the capital planning. So outside from these projects that we do have planned for the remainder of the year, we are now looking at next year and specifically what we hope to spend on different things and what kind of replacements will we need cottage wise? Are there things in the clubhouse that need to be replaced or redone? All of that type of stuff. So we are in the midst of all of that. And the capital planning is currently what Jim and I are working on the next couple weeks. So as well as Chef Mark and Anne Marie too, because the kitchen plays a role in that as well. Okay. I'm checking in on the Q&A here. We don't have anything yet. I am cruising down to the maintenance update, and Jim got out of our meeting because they were doing a lot of clearing of roofs yesterday for the snow. Wanted to make sure our exhaust pipes were all uncovered. Everything was in good condition. We do have to move some of that snow around, which is difficult to do. And kind of on that snow topic again, our company will be coming back once they've had a moment to breathe here and get some rest. They'll be coming back to now get a lot of this snow out of here. So, and that does mean that they'll be clearing off a little bit better certain areas, in the front, we've got a big area, in the back around the parking lot here, they'll be getting rid of that and uncovering the fire hydrants, things like that we need to make sure are done and accessible. So they will be back. We've been in very close contact with them. I'm sure we're their favorite clients, but they are doing a good job for us. So yes, Jim and John were very busy yesterday. They're a little backed up. They're getting back to work to kind of their more regular stuff. So, all right. Update on the carbon monoxide detector replacement. So as you know, a lot of you have had your detectors replaced. We did about half of them with our vendor before we discovered with our alarm company that those detectors were not working on that same system. So they were working as carbon monoxide detectors, but they were not working with the rest of our system that all connects. So we have gone through and corrected most of those at this point that have received them. And so now they do still have about half of the cottages to go in and replace and properly connect it to the new system. So thank you for your patience there. We are still working on that and we'll get back to that next week. Those washer hoses, that is all done. So some of you had already had those replaced prior to the full community replacement. And now everyone is set with those hoses. So that portion is done. Something we talked about in the last meeting was the water heater flushing and humidifier pad replacements. I believe there's less than 10 left. So I believe Jim told me about 6 or 7 this morning. So those will be finished up, wrapped up next week as well. So that would be either Jim and John coming in and doing that at your cottage. And again, just the topic remains of this spring preparation, kind of looking at what we will need to do in the spring, and is there anything we can get a head start on? One of the things Kim Hoppy touched on was just this delay that we are experiencing in maintenance related things. So, there's a number of things we're waiting to hear back from vendors on for quotes, these projects that we hope to do as soon as possible that are a lot of kind of grounds work and exterior cottage type things that we are just waiting and diligently following up with these people, trying to get the information in order to get on their schedules as early as possible in the spring. So it really is a lot of back and forth and following up on our end and checking in with people. I believe, like I said on that meeting, it's really frustrating to just kind of be hanging, waiting for someone else, and it's totally out of your control, but we are being very diligent with just checking in with these people and making sure that no one's forgotten about us. So a lot of stuff happening that we are just waiting to hear back on right now. Is something here in the Q&A that I can go ahead and cover, because I did forget to do a plug for the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl evening will be the 13th at 6 p.m., a Sunday, of course. So we'll be set up in the learning studio. We'll have the game going for you. We will have food, sodas, water. We'll have drinks for you, some snacks. I did not commit to a menu because sometimes it's been difficult for us to nail down what the stores will have. But you can consider it a dinner essentially. So it will be enough that you will be satisfied for dinner. That is what I will say. So sign up for that. The deadline for sign up, I think we put the 10th or 11th. So again, check on in here in the clubhouse and make sure you're signed up for that. That is the 13th at 6 p.m. Thank you for that reminder out there. Okay, I have somebody out at their house. Cindy Pine is with us, and she wants to tell you about something that she's been doing in her free time that people might be interested in. So I'm looking for Cindy. There you go, on my attendees. Okay, so Cindy, you can unmute whenever you're ready.
Hi, Hi, Natalie. Thank you. Folks, I'm delighted to be here. I'm one of your newer members. And before Christmas, we had a group come sing for us. They've been known as under a couple of names. One is the Hudson Mills Community Group or Community Choir, and they're now called the Dexter Community Choir. I was inspired to join them based on the fun that they were having singing for us. And they meet every Tuesday night right now up until May, which will be the end of their season. If any of you enjoy singing with a group and doing an occasional performance, if you can read music, it is a lot of fun. There's not a lot of pressure. I put a flyer, looks like this, on the bulletin board by the water fountain. So if you would like to join me, I'm happy to give you a ride on Tuesdays. We meet from 6:30 to 8, and it doesn't go past 8. We break up completely at 8 o'clock. So let me know if you'd like to join, and it's fun. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Cindy. It's so nice to see a new resident jumping into not only the Cedars activities, but outside community activities. That's great. Like Cindy said, because I don't think you could see if she was holding something up, Cindy said there is a flyer here on the bulletin board by the drinking fountain. And she has offered to help drive somebody there. if you are interested in going and joining that choir. So it sounds really fun, and we hope that Cindy can make sure they come back and do a performance for us soon. We would love to have the group. Okay, so we are at the end of our agenda here. You can take a minute to think if you have any other last minute questions out there. I think I forgot to do this last time, so I just wanted to have some fun at the end. So we have had snow days at our house too. So Cameron has had his snow days Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is hard for him because he loves school. Now Noah, this is Noah, which I hope you can see here. He still went to daycare on Wednesday and Friday. So instead of going outside and all that snow, they actually brought the snow into him. So they call this a sensory bin. So they brought the snow inside and they were playing in the snow that way. So I thought that was pretty neat. And he has a great time when he's there. So he did not get a snow day, but when the schools have a snow day, there's a late start, a delayed start at the daycare. And it's always pajama day. So he got to wear pajamas and play in the snow. And then on Wednesday, that first snow day, Cameron and I were able to get outside and take a beautiful walk outside. I cannot remember seeing trees looking like this and just the whole thing with this beautiful winter snow we had. It was really breathtaking. This is on our road. So this was about 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock on Wednesday. I'm just talking away and now I don't think you can see pictures. Okay, hold on. Thank you out there. Okay, thumbs up, perfect. I'll go back to Noah, sorry guys. Okay, here's Noah. Noah was at the daycare playing in the sensory bin of snow at the pajama day. So he loves pajama day, as Cameron would enjoy the pajama day as well. Okay, and here was our beautiful shot that Cameron and I got on our walk. We had the dog with us as well, but she will not sit still for a picture. So this was on our road, 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish in the afternoon. My road was totally untouched. We had a plow truck had not come through our road until we were on the way back from our walk. That was the first, I assume it was the first time a plow truck had been there. We are on a little bit of a back road outside the village of Pinckney. So just a beautiful view that we had to stop and take a picture there. And then Cameron wanted to do his snow angel. So this is Cameron doing his snow angel. So we've had some fun in the snow, but like I said, we're ready for a little break here. So I'm sure you are as well. We are all caught up in the Q&A here. I just want to thank everybody out there and thank you again for being so wonderful dealing with all of the snow and the changes that came your way. The housekeepers are back in action today. Everybody's here. The gang's all here. So hope to see you around the community. And lastly, remember, we do have Bible study. So, all right, we will see some of you in here today. Thank you very much. Just let me know if you have any follow-up questions. Have a good day.